Welcome to Thermo. This is Forge Alliance Forever, so Thermo and Satin's beginning to take over. It's a late night game here. Some good players, we should see very good action. I'll play it fast at first. So as most people know, Thermo is basically a map with a narrow corridor. Some mass extractors here, already some plans from people. Let's see. Turn this back on. We got Grunkalunka up front playing a Seraphim on his team. We got Ivars, Cybern, we got Aeon, Gimbalt, very good player, and Computer. This player is known for playing Thermo all the time. Definitely knows the game. He plays UEF in the back. We got Gunsing here sending the ACU back to the Hydra. That's strange. Usually all ACUs run as fast as they can to the middle. Early Engie here from Fresh. He's going to try to steal a few of those mass extractors. We also got Esperanto playing as Aeon. In the back, another UEF player. We see we got every single faction for both teams, and this is played with give. So for Satins and Thermo, really the standard rules are the give. Most Forge Alliance Forever players without the give, but on these maps you really got to do it, otherwise you ruin a lot of games. Fairness is something else. Yes, that's my opinion. Some undefended Engies going to the middle, and the ACU from Lunka is by far the fastest. Some Engies with him as well. You see finally Gunsing is making his way back. Looks like Fresh will actually beat him. See all four ACUs making their way up front. See all four ACUs making their way to the middle as well. So you're going to see 4 ACU and 4 ACU. First kills now for Grunka. Takes out a couple of mass extractors. Total of 2 kills. An Engie here. Power generator and Engie from Gunsing. As well as some Arty from Gimbalt. I'll speed this up. And it's going to be a 2v1 early on. Although Ivars is coming in for support. Grunka is retreating. No, it's the bottom team that's retreating. A lot of scouts coming in from Ivars. And now Esperanto comes in as well, so it's a 3v2. Very aggressive play here from the top side. We are seeing Tech 2 now. I'm going to slow this down so we know what's going on. I see Freshy here working on some Tech 2. He's got a Tech 2 land here from Gunsing. That's not something you usually see. You usually see the ACU going T2, but he's using the ACU to attack. Ivars is in quite a bit of trouble here, getting by Tech 2 PD. Grunka getting an upgrade, and Gimbalt is in a lot of trouble. And we just saw 2 ACUs die there. Ivars didn't run fast enough, and Gimbalt got in way too much trouble. His explosion killed Ivars. Lunka had to cancel his upgrade, also nearly died, but Computer here, probably the most experienced Thermo player, save the day, gets a couple of T2 PDs from UEF. A pretty big Arty force as well from Grunka. He's getting an upgrade as well. This is a 4v2. Oh, hopefully that doesn't come back. I see Esperanto is going to survive. So all ACUs with low health. Fresh getting some factories. Good to pick factories here. You get a lot of build capacity from Engies. So yeah, we see with a give, really no loss of units, just loss of ACUs. Quite a few T2 mass extractors on all the different bases. And a stealth field from Abby. And that's a sign that somebody wants to do a PD creep. Some power generators. Tech 2 missile launchers. This is something very strange to see. Of course they are taking on UEF. That's good to remember. UEF TMD. Actually UEF TMD is quite good against these weak missiles. Very high fire rate. You can kill them with one weak shot. UEF TMD is not very good against the stationary missiles or ACU missiles. And of course the Seraphim TMD very good in all circumstances. Looks like a scout spam just running into these Tech 2 PDs. Gonna get a lot of kills for these. Abby getting an upgrade as well. Looks like it's Tech 2. We're seeing Tech 2 power spam, as well as some hives, or these are drones, EF from computer. And we can see how the bases were shared. The Ivar's old base given over to Grunka. Tech 2 PD standoff here. You can see here using the stealth to creep up on the top side, but Seraphim shields should prevent any nonsense. We're seeing an attempt to make some Tech 2 shields, Seraphim shields from Gunsing. Very interesting use of Tech 2 engineers. Never seen this. At least on thermo. Definitely seen it before, but not on thermo. We see some Tech 3 mass extractors from Freshie. He's also got some Tech 2 power, and a factory that's in the process of going to Tech 3. Appears that these are paying off, putting a lot of pressure on those shields, as well as this stealth allowing to creep. Now we are at minute 13. We might see some experimentals, and yes, we see an experimental Tech 3 land factory, and the land factory is going to make mobile shields, make any experimental better. Be nice to see all those Tech 1 power generators are used, and also a GC. So both players from the top making experimentals. We see a pretty big shield spam, and Celine's just running into their death. 16 kills, 28 kills, 19 kills. Looks like that stealth was found out. Computer now going Tech 3. Tech 3 PDs are going to be very useful in this situation. Fresh is now at Tech 3 as well, getting a bunch of hives, got a GC planned. A GC or chicken, that's really the best experimentals. And we do see 2 GCs for the bottom side. Chicken nearly halfway done, and just starting on the GC from computer. 28 kills still. A lot of units just thrown into their death by the top side. Our computer is about to get Tech 3. Actually some Tech 3 units from Gunsing. Some Otham's very expensive. Not clear what the purpose is. Maybe against they're expecting a bunch of Tech 1 spam or something like that. And bricks from Freshie. Definitely non-standard thermo, and now a lot of build capacity from Freshie going directly to the GC. And here as well, halfway down on the GC from Esperanto. A lot of Tech 3 power generators now from computer. And we got to remember these players have the double bases, so they can build these experimentals much faster. And here come the Tech 3 PDs from computer. These Tech 2 PDs outrange and outgunned, they're gonna die. Esperanto retreats, see some bricks coming in. Not much the bricks can do against this base. And we see a bunch of homeless ACUs. No protection for these. They are getting some upgrades. Looks like Tech 3 for Abby. And a lot of wasted mass here. Each one of these is 75 mass. And each one of these is a little over 20,000. So you can imagine this would get you a small fraction of the GC. And here come the experimentals. We also see a fatty started. Actually both players from the top working on that fatty. A lot of Tech 3 shields, mobile Tech 2 shields. It's a pretty big Aeon Tech 2 shield contingent here, as well as UEF shields and Seraphim as well. And here comes a chicken. GC is not completed. And a GC now from Esperanto. This will be the first experimental fight. We see some mobile artillery here getting destroyed by the chicken. A cancel of an upgrade from Esperanto, from Abby. Gunsing's got to run. They do have a GC. The GC has absolutely no shields. There is a GC coming from Fresh as well, so 2 GCs against the chicken, but the chicken has a lot of extra health. And you can see just to break through those shields, the GCs are already nearly dead, but now the second GC will save the day. Those shields in the back should be moving up. They're not doing their job, as being pointed out. Looks like it was a successful kill for the bottom side, and 2 really big chunks of mass. This fatty now for the top side nearly completed. Computer making more Tech 3 PDs. They are expecting the GC from Fresh to move up, and a Tech 2 shield spam from Fresh as well. And we see a whole bunch of drones now for a computer. He's going to try to get this mass. Actually, a lot of good mass here as well. With these 2 chunks, we already see Gunsing here trying to get a GC reclaimed, and no anti-air in this area. You can see these drones. It's a great way to get the mass back. See a lot of good units here. You can see the optical facility from Aeon, so you can see exactly what your enemy is doing. Big shield spam from the top. A lot of build capacity. And actually now we see the GC from Freshie running into this base. It's probably a bad move. And Freshie runs away. He's got a lot of things hitting it in the back. He is dodging a lot of PDs. That probably won't be enough. It's funny, this shield trying to save him. There goes the GC. He made it back, but here's Grunka's drones. They're going to pick up that mass as soon as the GC is dead. The fatty is going to put a lot of pressure on the bottom side of fatty from Abby as well, so it's going to be a fatty on fatty fight. Both fatties do have a lot of shields and a lot of Tech 3 shields from the top side. Some bricks trying to sneak into the action. Perhaps those should move in, try to kill some of these shields. And you can see it's a continuous spam directly to this fatty. You definitely don't want to lose that. Then this can just shoot it at the base. And actually it looks like this fatty will be destroyed. That's a bad situation for the bottom side. The shields are just keeping it alive. That's a bad loss. Not clear how the bottom side is going to deal with it, because there's still a lot of shields for that top fatty. CGC bricks moving in. Probably should have moved in a little earlier. And yet another fatty from computer. The bricks are dying. 39 kills for that fatty. The shield spam continues. This GC is finally going to get finished. Some Tech 1 mass extractors. That's amazing. Surprising this fatty isn't being a little more aggressive. Can hit some of those really good targets, and computer can definitely see what's going on with his optics facility. Another fatty for Abby plus a GC also for Abby. Not good to make 2 experimentals at once. Freshie working on a mega. Another fatty is a little running ahead of those shields, not pushing up ahead. The bottom side giving that fatty a lot of things to shoot at. Need a lot more damage per second, and here comes the second fatty to provide that. That's a great wall of defense. Definitely a slightly different thermo than what we're used to. Here comes another mega. Now Gunsing getting targeted by the fatty. He's got to run. Has some shields protecting it, but perhaps this mega can do some damage. And yet the fatties are retreating. A lot of shields from both sides. That's ridiculous. And a GC coming in. A computer retreating from the middle. Don't know what the other rules are here. Maybe there's no nukes, no arty. But if those are allowed, that'd be a good time to start building. Another fatty now from Abby, and some spiders from Freshie. And GC from Esperano. This mega seems to be a scaring computer and Grunka. Perhaps this GC can do something about it. GC and a chicken versus a mega. And you can see the mega just creeping back. It's like, oh, it's a little too much action for what it likes. A lot of health on this unit, but not too much damage per second. And if that was a bad move. If you turn your mega around, that's good. You just want to stand and fight. Otherwise, you can't shoot backwards. To be a huge chunk of mass. Expect Grunka to send some drones there as soon as possible. And this is a bad situation. There are some GCs here to protect and a fatty as well. So you got to keep order. If you're the top side, you got to keep your shields over your experimentals, otherwise it won't do much for you. And it looks like these experimentals are gonna die. Those fatties doing damage directly in Gunsing's base. Some spiders now, another megalith. And you can see those drones from computer just got a huge chunk of mass. This is not where you want to walk if you're Esperanto over a dead chicken. Dead chickens hurt. And you're another fatty from Abby. More build capacity from Gunsing. He's got to really relocate his base. Lots of trouble. One thing we might see from the top side is some tactical missiles. Can really do a lot of damage with those from that range. Yet another push, 2 fatties and a chicken. Chicken, and here comes another mega. Not too many shields from the top side. Looks like their shield spam subsided. They had quite a bit that they threw away. And there goes a chicken. Should be a retreat here. And 2 fatties from Abby. See more build capacity on these shield spam, especially the Seraphim shields. Those are very good. Drones shifting over for computer. Looks like it's going to be a massive GC spam from computer. Now we do see the top side with a whole bunch of experimentals. Gungsing getting another upgrade. He already has double RAS. And more GCs from Fresh. You can see eventually GC is the choice for both players. Chickens are good, but they really prevent your own progress. You lose one chicken, it starts killing your own units. We do see Grunka here making chickens up front. Very good defensive units, but not offensive. These fatties are losing power. And all those shields, that's very bad. Actually, big power problems for the bottom side. All those shields do take a lot of power. 3 fatties retreating, and a megalith and chicken and GC moving up. And that spider's just gonna die. Looks like more shields for the top side. That makes a difference, but these 3 fatties can do a lot of damage. And this is a good defensive move here. A chicken, just throw it in and let it die right in the middle of all your enemy's units. And you just start a chain reaction. Chicken's dying. That's why you gotta make GCs. GCs and Seraphim Tech 3 shields. Plus fatties trailing as good as it gets. More GCs from Freshie. That's a big shield spam here from Freshie. See any more ideas from Grunka? No, he's not making anything else. And a GC spam now from both players. Shields and GCs from the top. It appears that this is a game where nothing but land is allowed. I'm not sure if Paragons are allowed. That would also be a good move. And a TML, that's definitely what computer's thinking. If you have control of the middle, you gotta make that count. And tactical missiles in the middle, you can hit basically any of these 3 bases up front. It doesn't look like Freshie has too much TMD, if any at all, so you can take out a lot of these units. Like these Tech 3 power generators would be a great target. Even his ACU would be a great target. ACU would be the best target. Any of the Tech 3 power, Tech 3 mask extractors. Yep, that's what Grunka is doing. Shoot those in volleys. See multicolored shields, 5 fatties, some megas. This chicken's gonna be a problem, but a couple of GCs as well. So it looks like the bottom side is recovering. See computers ACU here. We're working on the mask extractors for the most part. Tech 3, a couple Tech 2s. And more build capacity from the bottom side, from the top side. Probably also true for the bottom side. Probably if you spam more power, you can spam more shields. I have not seen this game before, but this is pretty crazy. Never seen this many shields on thermo. And this is trouble for Grunka. This is much more difficult to defend this area, much less units that you can fit in. Grunka does have stealth plus a bunch of TMLs. But he's got to put more shields around him. Might start firing those. Computer sensing defeat begins to talk. We see some missiles getting fired. And Grunka better start retreating. You just see total destruction here. And more missiles being fired. And Grunka's got to run. Looks like he's trying, but he's hitting his shield, and all the GCs are retreating. One lone GC here, taking on some fatties, is gonna die. These missiles just gotta start firing, just use up everything they have. You can establish a good defensive position here if you're at the top side. You can kill all these fatties quite easily. Here we see some, yeah. Those are just the missiles. There it goes, the tactical missile launcher. Perhaps if they were built a little earlier, targeted some of these units, there would be hope. But this is going to be a very good defense here from Computer and Grunka. So many GCs, you really just can't do much against them. That's a lot of damage per second. And one thing you hate in these situations when players send units that are not experimentals or shields, because these are preventing the flow of units. It's really one of the most important things in a situation like this, and this is going to be a very good counterattack from Computer. Is you want to have really nice flow. When you have stuff like this from green, you're just sabotaging your team. We can see if this could be a good move here. If that chicken dies right there, it's going to do a lot of damage against these GCs. Computer's just going to try to walk over it, which means he forgot to kill it, and the chicken's going to start shooting those GCs in the back. May actually be a good move. Looks like all those GCs are going to die. They just walked past a bunch of GCs from both sides here. A lot of dead units. This dead chicken here is going to prevent a lot of the flow from the top side. So far not a good situation for the top side, but hopefully they keep on fighting. They definitely have the base to do it. They have a lot of build capacity. There's that chicken. Problems. Grunka making more missile launchers. A couple more shields would be nice. You can see a big GC spam. One thing to note, this is X1, so you can imagine these rules in X2 is just beyond ridiculous. We might see an overcharge here from Grunka, and that GC decided to run away. They tried to run away, but unsuccessful. I see 5 experimentals. A lot of them have pretty bad health. 1 chicken, 4 GCs, some shields, more GCs on the way. Be nice to kill that chicken right away, but now the chicken is going to get in range And that's a very well placed chicken here from, who was that, Gunsing. This Mega has just been firing from Freshie. It's got a little longer range than the rest of these experimentals. And Esperanto is just sabotaging his team. Still just has a bunch of units just standing there. Although these, I gotta probably take this back. This is a good move. These are the shield disruptors. Extremely good units against shields. So never mind, but and actually these are good too from Esperanto. Flag to prevent any drones coming in to get those wrecks, but this Artie I'm not sure about. Probably a single fatty is so much better than those. So far it is a stalemate. Very close. If these GCs fail, bad situation. See these NGs from Freshie getting all this mass. That's a huge advantage. Some of these fatties might be in range of Lunka's base. Still trying to make a few of these missile launchers. And now some megaliths as well from Grunka. So far it's been very tough. Looks like Abby's fatties are retreating. But actually I gotta take my words back. Good units here from Esperanto. A big fatty spam here from Abby. More units on the way, so I'm not really sure how this game is going to end. It's kind of a ridiculous map if you ask me. Some of those missiles being fired try to break those shields. We haven't seen any of these shield disruptors from the top side. They do have Aeon. It's a good move from Esperanto. Actually this Artie is doing a good job as well. A couple of his GCs are going to turn into wrecks. I see these drones from computers trying to get some of these wrecks. This chicken does have some anti-air, so those drones are vulnerable. That's the problems with chickens. Hurt your own units. We are seeing support commanders. Be curious to see if these have overcharges on them. We should see that. Have missile launchers, no overcharges, and a rapid fabricator, so they can build very quickly as well as reclaim very quickly. Here come those missiles. See what those hit. Trying to take out these Tech 3 power generators. We should see TMD response from Grunka shortly here. And a big GC megalith force now counterattacking from Grunka. This could be trouble. Not too much to defend, just a whole bunch of fatties in the middle here panicking. Hitting each other, not knowing what to do. Although they do have quite a bit of firepower. We're seeing dead support commanders. And this counterattack is pretty nice, but it won't accomplish too much. We do see a computer trailing with some fatties, and we are back to completely even here at minute 50. Computer retreating back to his original base. See here he's got a lot of build capacity, still has a bunch of T2 power, continuous T2 mobile shield spam. More T3 power. Looks like it's all Tech 3 mass extractors here. And a lot of dead units. Just out of curiosity, Check Grunka's reclamation. It's 180,000, nearly 200,000. Computer's at 220,000. That'd be at 230,000. Freshie at a mere 65. So let's see what people come up with. Hopefully it's not just some stupid disconnect or something like that. People's computers tend to melt after a while. We see T3 fabs now, so it looks like Freshie is deciding that the regular mass extractors are not going to give him enough mass, so he's going to build mass fabricators. At this point, space could become an issue. And space is going to be very even. Doesn't matter that it's 3v4 or 2v4. So I guess if space and flow are the important things, then you'd want to only spam Tech 3, Seraphim, none of the UEF or Aeon, and GCs. They're really much smaller than Megaliths or Fatty. Just pack them as tight as possible, move them through. Not sure about the Fatty. It is a very good weapon for range, but they're just so bulky you can only fit like 4 or 5 here across. And definitely no more chickens unless you're afraid of something. You want to use them for defense. If you want to win, don't make chickens. If you want to draw, make chickens. That's ridiculous. We got some congestion here. 4 Esperanto. And this could be bad here for the bottom side. They can kill this chicken quickly here. Looks like they are targeting it. They could have killed it a little closer. But it is going to give the bottom side a little more time to retreat, to regroup. Don't want to run into that. And here come the drones from Grunka. Oh, well over 200,000 mass at this point. 200,000 mass is basically 10 experimentals. A little less. But that's nearly a paragon. But it looks like that's not allowed in this game. Pretty massive missile launcher situation from Grunka here. And I'm hearing support commanders dying. It looks like a very nice move here from the top side, but it looks like all those units are going to die, so that push is going to be stopped. But the middle has been won by the top side once again. More fatties. Perhaps a missile launcher creep like this from Grunka would be the way to go. There's a lot of damage that they can provide. Looks like that Mega is just sitting there and a chicken leading the way. Computer's talking about giving up. Hopefully that's not the way it ends, but if it does, maybe this will be a lesson for people never to play thermo again. Because this is the solution to thermo is a draw. I think that's how we've established here. If it's not a draw, then somebody sucks. More support commanders now planned from Freshie, as well as Gunsing here. We are seeing these mass fabs from multiple players. Yeah, no game enders on, so the game won't end. Nice fatty, 7 fatties planned for a computer. Whole bunch of GCs as well. Looks like the top side is going to regroup. Let's see if this push can do something. Well, one thing we gotta say, we haven't really seen the best combination possible here. This is very close to it. See a lot of these Seraphim shield, but you can definitely pack a lot more than what we've seen. So I don't think these players should give up yet. Looks like a power surge. That's the worst thing possibly happen. Massive power surges now. Now we're gonna see a massacre of these fatties by the GCs. Just gonna take a seat here on this hill. See missiles coming in from the top, and that's just gonna be a destruction. No chickens here to stop this flow. Here comes a chicken from Fresh. He's gonna put an end to this. Yep, chicken makes his way, but he gotta keep moving. Kill his own units there. Now we see a lot of missiles coming out now from Grunka. Looks like the computer just marched directly into the dead chicken. They're gonna just march directly over it. It's gonna be a couple dead megaliths. Actually, some of them survived, and not much left here from the left side now. Just a bunch of shields. It's gonna be interesting how far this push gets. Just saw about 7 fatties massacred. You see some drones coming in, getting all that mass. And now it's 5 GCs. Whole bunch of arty. Not much else, but that was a very nice push there from Grunka. See if any of these experimental. This GC is nearly full health. It's getting really close to some. These are support commanders. Are doing some real damage, or beginning to do some real damage. That's really the only GC that's going to make it through. And there's Fresh's ACU, and that's ridiculous. And Freshy dies when he really didn't have to. Freshy says thanks. He can now go to sleep, and after 1 hour. A successful GC sneaks in from Grunka and really is beginning to turn this game. Definitely not over yet, but it's actually a megalith, nearly dead, however. I should be taken care of. More units following this up. The top side really got to follow this up. Appears that Abby has teleported, which is breaking the rules. And I guess officially the top side has won based on cheating from the bottom side. But let's see if they can do it for reals. And somehow that's exactly what happened. Too many fatties, not enough GCs, and the fatties just get ran over by the GCs. Esperano is still trying to make shields, but they're getting ran over. Gunseng has been defeated as well. Esperano, the last player. That's build capacity right there, flying across the map. As you see, he's getting really deep. Where is the ACU? I can't see Esperano's ACU. Oh, there it is. It's waiting to die. And now it's thrown in the towels. Hopefully people enjoyed it. Some back and forth here with an epic shield spam. Don't play thermo.